my god.
Oh my god.
Just 44 seconds. I'm trying to fucking make a tweet. I didn't get much of a chance to do that. Anywho, while I try to do this, welcome to the Pinfall Podcast. I'm your host, Liz. I am joined, as always, by my scrumptious, saucy,
Scrumptious.
I don't know, scintillating and scandalizing co-host Marcus.
Scandalizing.
Also, my third kind of, yeah, I don't know.
You mean scandalous?
No, I mean scandalizing.
What does that mean?
Oh man. What does it mean? To scandalize somebody is to shock or horrify someone by a real or imagined violation of propriety or morality. It's the act of being scandalous.
Okay. Welcome to the Raw post show of the Pinfall Podcast. The Pinfall Podcast post show.
I feel good. Don't feel good. I don't feel good. I'm here.
Well, I hope you all feel good that are watching right now. And this was actually this was a pretty alright episode of Raw, I'd say. This wasn't horrible. No. They really put an emphasis on the title scene this episode, which I really liked. It kind of connected everything to that. Whether it be the WWE Championship, the Raw Women's Championship, or the United States Championship. Everything was kind of tied to some kind of title.
I guess, in a way, it's for the best that the Ric Flair shit happened early on.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of the episode, I wasn't quite so violent feeling, I guess.
Yeah. Also, like, I think that still worked. Like, the whole Lacey Charlotte segment worked.
I don't think Lacey being vaguely, if not flagrantly racist worked, but you know.
It just makes me hate her more,
Yeah.
which kind of makes her an effective heel, I guess. In my mind.
It's interesting because there's a lot of effective heels that we see nowadays that aren't racist. You know?
Yeah.
Like Randy or Drew or Shayna Baszler.
Is Drew a heel?
Drew, sorry, I was thinking Roman. Told you I wasn't feeling good.
That damn
My brain
heel,
just, like,
Drew
flatlined.
McIntyre, and the face Roman Reigns, like it's back in 2018.
Like, you know, it's one of those things where it's like that doesn't need to happen because at the end of the day, it's real people that they're talking about and real people who are watching it. I feel like that was just like so uncalled for.
No, I know. I get what you're saying.
Like, Lacey's done stuff before where I was like, damn, I fucking hate you, Lacey, and it wasn't like something that would have offended somebody.
Right. But what I'm more so saying is, as a segment, it worked because I walked away hating Lacey, liking Charlotte, mission accomplished.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I have trouble saying anything worked when I feel like it. Like, if you want money to rebuild your house, like, yeah, setting it on fire and claiming insurance money and, you know, committing insurance fraud works. You probably shouldn't do it. There's other ways to make it work.
But we can talk about this and everything that happened during our matches and promos part of the show. For now,
I'm going out of order.
before we get to the news, we gotta spin the wheel. All right, let's get
You're gonna be
Liz's.
on my deathbed and you're still gonna want to do this shit.
I'll be at your funeral. Like, before we can get started, everyone, we have to spin the wheel.
Before we can bury that casket, folks. He's just checking down to get his last fucking meal.
Honestly, good.
Thank God, Cat.
All right.
If I get costume, I am guaranteeing you now I'm not doing shit. Like, I'll find something, but I'm not doing shit.
All right. Let's spin the wheel for Liz's spin. Well, that's like right in the middle. What is it on? My God, wait, that is like perfectly in the middle.
Means I get to make a choice.
No. You pick one or two, okay? I have the 1 and 2 decided. One
2.
for tell the audience what the 1 and 2 are. 1 is on the left, 2 is on the right for everyone watching. So you pick 2. You want to go back on that?
No.
You don't? You want to go with 2?
Yeah.
Okay. 2.
Trust my gut.
2. Your pick is best of the night, no opinion.
Fine.
It was either that or wear a costume.
Thank God.
It landed on the line. All right, so, and here's my spin. Oh, I also got no opinion, so it cancels out. Wow, early on.
I don't like that. I like there to be a challenge.
Well, we'll see how the rest of the show goes. Maybe one of us will get it again.
All right. Are we getting to the news?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. Let's see. Where do we want to start? I know where we want to start. Where we want to start is me opening up my bookmarks, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Let's get a. Yeah.
What?
Cat looked in the litter box again, and I was like. Anyways. We'll do some simple stuff first. R-Truth lost and gained his title back. He lost his title during the Sled Sweat Flag Football tournament. During a pandemic, didn't know that existed. Feels like something that shouldn't exist during a pandemic. When, like, the word sweat is in the name.
He lost it to Doug Flutie.
He lost it to Doug Flutie, and then he won it back.
Same night. Or same day.
Yeah. Which I guess, like, in a weird way, like, good that they're using this as, like, kind of promotional shit, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to have been taken away on, like, the Michael K show from, what's his face? And then for it to, like, kind of, like, travel to, like, this. I don't know. I think that's kind of cool.
It's cool, especially bringing it to such mainstream outlets like the Michael K show and sort of the NFL kind of, I guess. But it kind of takes away what the 24/7 title was originally about, which was having to defend it like anywhere, no matter what. Which made it like kind of like a
away.
Huh?
What does that take away from it? Because, like, literally people are there's being defended more places.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, it was initially used as like a huge challenge, like it was like a hardcore title. But now it's kind of like a comedy piece. It's the comedic side to WWE.
I don't really have a problem with that because I feel like the one thing the WWE needs to do is, like, not take itself so seriously. And this helps that?
I don't know. I kind of like when they take themselves too seriously. Like, take the Bray Wyatt bits for example. Like, you have this psycho supernatural shit, and then everyone's like horrified of it.
Right. And that works. I feel like, but the thing is that the WWE needs to have moments where it's not taking itself like so seriously that it's like, I mean, entertainment wrestling is entertainment wrestling. Like,
Yeah.
this is fun. Like, I mean, what was it? What did I send you? A video of Drew Gulak and Adam Cole from like the Ring of Honor or Impact or something, even Evolve.
Maybe Ring of Honor.
We were like, Adam Cole singing fucking NSYNC to Drew Gulak. Like, that's wrestling. Okay? It's not a stupid ass fucking, it's a different wrestling and like the shit that people do in their backyards on like beds of glass.
Yeah.
Those are very different situations.
Yeah.
And frankly, those are also funny.
We can talk about hardcore wrestling all day. I think it's stupid. It's dumb. I don't like it. But
that's not the point.
But yeah, I mean, I agree with you that wrestling does need to lighten up a little bit in some areas.
Yeah. I think WWE's hitting a good balance.
Yeah, it's the light bits aren't detracting from the serious bits. So
yeah. So speaking of, I guess not so serious bits, Bow Wow has decided that after he drops his next album, which I guess he's calling his last album, I don't know, he's going to focus on TV and film and joining the WWE.
Listen. That album's never coming out. He's been talking about releasing a new album since 2010. He's been saying this exact thing since 2010, so.
I just love it. He's like, I'm going to focus on TV and film and wrestling.
The three most important things in life.
That's all our lives amount to at this point, so. Yeah. Good for him. I don't know if it's gonna work right now, but he wants to team up with Rey Mysterio for the tag team titles. And I said, Rey's got a son for that right now. Sure. Okay.
Well, speaking of that, real quick, I actually heard kind of a theory of what could happen with Rey and Dom, especially after the last episode. Because it was Dom against Corbin, Rey stepped in and sneakily helped Dom, and there's a theory floating around that Rey's going to continue to do that, sneakily help Dom in every match he's in, until Dom is like, I don't need your help anymore, like, I don't need this, and he's going to challenge Rey to prove that he doesn't need him and can handle himself on his own at WrestleMania.
Alright. Sure. I'll take it.
That sounds like a really cool match.
And I think that's what Dom would need, really. It's
what the whole Mysterio family needs.
He needs to Charlotte Flair himself. He needs to step away from his father's shadow.
Yeah.
Very small piece of news. WWE trademarked the name Mei Ling, which, if you remember, that was part of the story in Xia Li's promo last week in NXT, which is getting more and more confusing because Xia Li is technically Tian Sha. I think.
No. If I scroll, Tian Sha is the old lady. That's the name she became. Like, she gave herself that name after she met the dragon and everything. That's basically the title she gave herself. Mei Ying was her birth name.
Mei Ling.
Mei Ling is a new name. Mei Ying was the Tian Sha's original name. Because I think in Chinese, in China they kind of reverse the names, so what comes first is the last name, the surname, and then after that's the first name.
I'm not gonna claim to know shit about shit. But with that said, going to need to plug my laptop in. Oh, there it is.
I could be wrong.
I have literally no clue.
I know they do that in Japan. I don't know if they do that in China as well.
I am not the person to ask. All I know is that they trademarked the name.
Mm-hmm.
Get how you will.
I also have a piece of news, which I'm not sure if you have. You might have it. Regarding something Mick Foley said.
No. I have nothing about Mick Foley tonight.
Well, Mick Foley mentioned on Twitter regarding Terry Funk that he's dealing with some serious pain issues right now. I don't know if you know who Terry Funk is. He's who Mick Foley claims is the greatest of all time. He said it's physical pain that I'm not sure what he specified it as, but it's a health concern of Terry Funk, so just wishing him best wishes and hoping the best.
Yes, I saw that article. I didn't quite understand it, but I feel like if your main health issue is physical pain, that's not a fun time.
Yeah.
At all. Speaking sort of in the same vein, but just Ross said some shit. Jim Ross decided to come out in support of performance-enhancing drugs.
What? How do you...
Yeah.
How do you come out and support performance-enhancing drugs? I need to know what he said. That's...
Well, if it gives you... this isn't necessarily background, but I know for a fact, because I've watched cycling for most of my life, there's a lot... Because PEDs were so big in cycling, and they've been so big in baseball, there's a good handful of people that are like, well, maybe everybody should be allowed to use them so that way it kind of levels the playing field. And every time I see that, I'm just like, I don't know about that one. I'm not so sure.
I mean, it's like this thing I heard in baseball where they should just let everyone do any kind of drug they want and just see where it goes from there. You have like the greatest athletes ever. These incredibly aggressive, strong men just going at each other. It can only end well for the audience.
I've seen a lot of people say shit like that. Every time I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about? But anyways, so Jim Ross said, and I'll just try to jump through this. It's not a long quote, but it's longer than I really feel like reading today from Jim Ross.
Mm-hmm.
He said that he is more lenient and isn't as hung up on monitoring talent for PEDs. He said that if talent are taking them under a doctor's care, then it isn't a huge deal. He said, are the Harlem Globetrotters tested? I don't know these answers. I'm not as hung up on monitoring that as some think I would be as an old school guy. If it's under doctor's care, which it should be, it has to be. If you're freelancing drugs, you're in the wrong period, no matter what. I guess I'm a little bit more lenient on it than a lot of guys, which doesn't include pain management. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about PEDs. I don't have a big issue with them, but I don't think that they should be used in the freelance mode. Doctors care constantly, so we know if you have a heart issue or don't, things of that nature. So some people are assuming that what he, I guess, means is if the ending is predetermined, why does it matter if somebody's juicing? But also, I don't know a ton of doctors that are like, oh, hey there, you don't have any real like physical issues, but do you want to take some fucking steroids? I'll sign you up for some steroids.
Well, I mean, of course, steroids are used in modern medicine, but like not like roids.
Yeah, right.
Also, of course, the Harlem Globetrotters are tested. Every sports team on planet Earth is tested for steroids.
I guess he like used that as an example because the Harlem Globetrotters are technically a basketball team. They're just fucking around most of the time.
I mean, yeah.
Still, and just the way you're freelancing drugs. Jim? What?
I don't know. It's Jim Ross time.
Somebody, one of the comments on that tweet was, Jim Ross being Jim Ross. Age does that. Oh man, it's so funny to me because it's like it doesn't make any sense.
It really doesn't. I don't know how you can really side with anything but being against PEDs.
I feel like that's just somebody who wants to be like edgy at the end of the day.
That's like something I expect Undertaker to say or Hulk Hogan.
Undertaker's definitely down for it.
So is Hogan.
Do you have something to say? You said.
Yeah, I have one more piece of news, and it's super small. It's just after yesterday. Yesterday was the first time a former WWE champion has ever scored in a Super Bowl. And that's Rob Gronkowski.
I hate that.
You know, fuck Tom Brady and everything.
I hate that
but I love Gronk.
You know, like, it's hard for me. But in Gronk's defense, he's kind of a goofy dude, and I will never get over Vince McMahon getting so frustrated with him for not taking a bump in time that Vince threw himself off of the fucking balcony and was like, see? Fine.
Yeah.
I was like,
but, you know.
Happy almost 1 year to that, by the way.
Has it been 1 year?
Yeah, because it wasn't on WrestleMania?
Yeah, that was WrestleMania.
Wasn't that why we didn't see Elias for a while? Because Elias like shattered something.
Yeah. I mean, well, we still got another couple months before it's 1 year. But Gronk, not even the best pro football player that's been in WWE. Pat McAfee's better.
He's a punter.
Still a football player. He's better at wrestling than Gronk.
Better at dressing than Gronk. Honestly, I kind of forgot that Gronk was a football player. Oh.
Not just an actor or a guy.
Not just some up this with a fucking suit on. Or those like it was nobody's fucking business.
Something's happening over there.
It was just a packet of gum falling very, very, very slowly off every conceivable surface. Also, it's because I get Gronk and Mojo Rawley mixed up, so.
Yeah.
Anyway. Let's talk about Nexus.
Oh boy.
So I guess Darren Young, who was a member of Nexus and was released in 2017, has claimed that the faction is going to make their return at WrestleMania. The quote specifically is, "Yeah, well, most likely at WrestleMania in Tampa, again with the crowd, we're going to come back. ... the Nexus." And then he mentioned Wade Barrett because he's on commentary, said he's going to rise up from the table and we're going to show up and we're going to defeat Retribution. So letting you guys know that right now, I shouldn't have dropped the news, but oops. Which, one, if that was actually news, it's not going to happen now. So there's that. Two, if Wade Barrett comes back to wrestling, I will scream.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
Stop. I wouldn't mind a faction coming in to challenge Retribution, though. Like, at this point, I don't see much of a point of Retribution if they're not going to, like, identify, like we said, like, last week. If they're not going to identify guys for certain roles, I don't see a point in them existing.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no factions to really contest them right now because Hurt Business is busy with other things. They kind of left that feud. Nexus is really the only thing that could really take them on at this point. I mean, New Day is kind of dwindling their feud.
To be fair, a lot of people are saying that this was quite literally just Aaron Young fucking around with people. For the time being, because I want Wade Barrett to return and I want his sweet little pony legs and his stupid Drew McIntyre body to be back in the fucking ring fighting Vic Joseph. Just gonna keep believing. Because if Wade Barrett comes back, I need him to fight Vic.
I mean, what if he just stays a commentator but kind of manipulates Nexus from behind the scenes?
That would be cool. I mean, every once in a while, like, the personnel get, like, a storyline, like when Mike Rome had the storyline with Alexa Bliss. He was trying to date her, and we were all sitting there, and we were all like, no. Anyway, though, I have one final piece of news outside of I need everybody to leave Edge alone. He's doing the best, and everyone's like, oh, he's a part-timer. And it's like, Edge literally lives at Tropicana Field now, I think. So,
yeah.
Bold assumption.
I mean, he said last week he drove 150 miles total.
Yeah, Edge is like... I know that you were kind of wary of Edge coming back, but like... Dude straight up hit the ground running and said, no, I'm here to wrestle.
Yeah.
For real. I promise. But that's not my news. My news is Corey Graves is going to get a foot up his ass, I swear to God, in due fucking time.
What does that have to do with Edge?
It doesn't. I told you it was not my piece of news.
Oh.
That was one thing I said I had to just say on the aside. No. Corey Graves is... I'm gonna like Braun Strowman him. He's gonna catch these fucking hands. I swear to God, if this man opens his fucking mouth one more goddamn time, I'm gonna... Oh.
I just want you to know, you're going against like the majority of the wrestling community when you're arguing with what he says right now, because from what I've seen, everyone agrees with what he says.
You don't know what I'm about to say then.
Was it what you told me earlier?
I told you 2 days ago. Corey Graves was on his stupid, dumb, stupid podcast called After the Bell, if you want to listen to it and blow your brains out. I don't know. And so recently on Raw Talk, Xavier Woods has been hardcore pushing the fact that he wants to fucking fight Reckoning. And I said, hell yeah, brother. Do it. Yeah, that's what I said. You don't know what I'm fucking talking about. Graves then decided that it was his place to speak, which it never is. And he said, I couldn't get any further out in terms of intergender matches. I have nothing but love for Woods. I love what Woods is capable of. I personally am not a huge fan of intergender wrestling matches. I know we just had a very successful one on Friday Night SmackDown with Reginald and Sasha Banks. I feel like once in a blue moon, I'm okay with it. I don't like the idea of it becoming regularly occurring in WWE. Of course, Vic Joseph apparently agreed with him, but we're ignoring that because I did not see that quote. I'm just going to leave it there. But I don't get that. I don't get that take.
He just doesn't want anyone to lay a hand on his Carmella, his precious Carmella.
It's like all of the indie brands do intergender matches.
Right.
Like, constantly.
Yeah.
Everyone loves them. Like, the fucking Tony Storm Timothy Thatcher match, brutal.
Mm-hmm.
There's no good reason for it. I love it. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get, like, why anybody would have a real problem with that.
I can get it to a sense if you're just thinking about WWE, because they would take it very carefully and like have the man be very gentle, and it wouldn't be like a full-on match. Like kind of between Sasha and Reginald didn't really like try and attack at all. But it worked there because Reginald in the context isn't really a wrestler. He's a sommelier, as they call him.
I think for me is more so if they had said, like, I don't want to see it happen because they clearly don't want to like let the guy get any hits in, I would understand that. I'd be like, okay, so you're saying you don't want to see it happen unless it's done right. Cool. Yeah. That's not what Corey said.
Mm-hmm.
So...
but
I want Corey Graves to shut the fuck up so badly. I want to punch his little Wi-Fi forehead back to being fucking smooth. Won't need Botox when I'm done.
So do you want to move on to matches and promos?
I hate Corey Graves so fucking much.
Matches and promos?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's spin the worst wheel in the world one more time. Actually, we have 2 more times after this to spin it, but let's do my spin. What?
I think maybe in a couple of episodes we can introduce some like more stuff to it, just so that way.
I've been trying to think of some stuff to add. Which, by the way, if anybody watching this has any suggestions for the wheel, please leave them in the suggestion box down below this stream, or if you're watching on YouTube, leave them in the comments. All right.
I think one of them, Mark, has to take off one piece of clothing.
All right, I'm spinning the wheel. Woo! I have to be sprayed with water, but it's better than what I almost landed on, which was accent. So you got to find the spray bottle and spray me or whatever. All right, let's do your
spin for me.
Spin. Woo! The worst wheel in the world. Oh, best of the night, no opinion. Oh. Well, looks like right now you have no opinion for the bests of the night. I have to be sprayed with water.
I get it, Mark. I'm a woman.
Oh, wow. All right. So Liz is probably going to go all out with this spray because of this. But yeah, leave us suggestions for the wheel. We're always looking for more options on it, more categories. When we used to have the wheel, it was like all drinking, and we were like, no, we can't do that anymore. So it was like an every episode thing. Can't find it in the living room. I just saw it on the table earlier. Oh, but yeah, we can't do it with drinking anymore. All right. Oh, oh, that was all in my ear. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. Oh, you bastard. You bastard. Oh. Oh. Give me like an ear infection.
Not gonna get swimmer's ear from that, I promise.
What?
You're not gonna get swimmer's ear from that, I promise.
Oh, God. That felt awful. I'll remember that.
I don't doubt it.
Alright. Alright, so a few surprises happened in today's episode that I'm shocked were surprises and we didn't get announcements for them prior. But we started off the episode with Adam Pearce in the ring, and he announces that Shane McMahon is here. And Shane McMahon comes out, And he has a big announcement. I'm hoping Raw Underground. We need more Raw
Back with the
Underground.
go-go dancers.
Bring the go-go dancers back. Have them in the Thunderdome. The basement
Have them
of
in the
Thunderdome.
underground.
You cut out there. What'd you say?
So that they should have them fighting.
Yeah, bring back bra and panty wrestling for Raw Underground.
You say it like that, I feel like I'm going way against Fit Finlay's fucking producing.
Bring back the karaoke segment.
No.
But he doesn't make that announcement, unfortunately. And instead, he announced that Drew McIntyre will be defending his title in Elimination Chamber. But, I mean, we all assumed that. But it's going to be in an Elimination Chamber match, a 6-man match, with all the challengers being former WWE champs. And I said, oh, cool, that sounds like fun. And then he announced that the champs, or the challengers, are Randy Orton, of course, Jeff Hardy, fine, AJ Styles, fine, The Miz, who has the Money in the Bank briefcase, and Sheamus, as expected. Now, I'm sitting here wondering, there's more WWE champs on Raw than just them. For example, Bray Wyatt, okay, fine, he's been out for a while, less than 2 weeks. I doubt we're gonna see him at all. I doubt they would announce him for Elimination Chamber. That's fine. And then I think, well, the other one is Kofi Kingston. And then I think, okay, Kofi's been out on injury. Understandable why they would not have him for it. And then later on we see Kofi has a match today. And now there's no excuse to not have Kofi. Why have The Miz, someone with the Money in the Bank briefcase and can have a title match at any point, instead of Kofi Kingston? Anyway. What was that?
But I saw a fucking shadow out of the corner of my eye. I looked and I was like, okay, there's nothing there. Then I see something moving out of this side of my eye and I was like, oh my fucking god. It was the cat that we've owned for over a year now. But every once in a while I forget that we have one of these things.
We have one?
Gave me a panic attack. It's the second time today with this stuff. Give me crazy. I'm gonna go crazy because of you.
But then Shane leaves, not Sheamus. Shane leaves, and AJ Styles comes out, and he's in the ring with Adam Pearce, and he commends the idea. He commends the idea that he had, and then Jeff Hardy comes out, leading us to a match between Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles. However, we then move back. Oh, yeah.
Commends the idea, but then calls Adam Pearce a dumbass. So I'd rather we didn't forget that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Tells Adam Pearce to start stepping. I had to sit there for a solid 5 minutes, just like.
Yeah.
Pearce has a tough enough life, guys.
He has to deal with both Raw and SmackDown. But after, before we move on to the next match, or the first match, we have Shane McMahon backstage with Drew McIntyre, and Drew is kind of voicing his opinion about the match, and saying he promised Sheamus a singles match in Elimination Chamber, for the title. And this seems to be a common theme throughout the episode, but yeah, Shane said that they need the match that'll give the best ratings, the best main event. Which I'm glad they're kind of, lately they've been kind of pulling back the curtain a bit and showing and saying like with what Sonya said, they need to give more tag teams a chance. with what Shane said here and what Adam Pearce says later on about wanting the best main event. It's nice. It's nice. But then we have Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles in the first match of the evening.
Yeehaw, Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles. The 5,000th time that we've gotten this match, right, folks? Oh, good. Hi, you're so tall. Oh, yes, you are. Hi. So Jeff gets AJ's arm, ends up throwing him down into a headlock. AJ gets Jeff into the corner, sends some fists into him. There's a kick to the midsection of AJ. He then sends Jeff face first into the top turnbuckle. There's a drop kick to AJ's back. And then a back body drop that Jeff Hardy nearly kills AJ on because it seems like Jeff Hardy can't fucking, like, lift him all the way. That last little bit of elevation looked like it took all of Jeff Hardy's fucking energy from him. Like, you could see him wince as he had to go, like... But anyways, there's double axe handles to the back of AJ. Jeff then sends AJ knee first to the canvas and throws him into the corner, or rather AJ throws Jeff into the corner and Jeff jumps over him and then tweaks his knee. Yes. What are you doing?
The way that just like happened, like Jeff just
like not on purpose.
Yeah, I thought it was like Jeff just hurt himself. Jeff just legit hurt himself right there, like probably broke his Achilles on the landing. But then AJ started targeting it and I was like, okay, no, that's not possible. But I'm kind of
very weird.
Yeah. But I'm hoping for storyline's sake the injury continues on and becomes a running thing, and then Jeff Hardy is too injured for Elimination Chamber and needs to be replaced last second by The Fiend, who is also a former WWE champion.
Yeah. Very strange experience. Anyways, there's a chop block to Jeff and then a knee breaker to him. AJ then whips Jeff into the post. AJ begins attacking Jeff in the ring. Get a dragon spear to the leg. He goes for a second one, but Jeff manages to kick AJ upside the head with his good leg. There's a calf crusher on Jeff, and then a failed phenomenal forearms. We get an inverted atomic drop and a double leg drop, a drop kick, double axe handles.
Did you turn on? Do you need like new batteries or something? You need to be charged.
You're watching that shit, yeah.
Okay.
You.
Double A or C or what?
D.
D. Oh.
I need like the thick batteries. Just like, also Jeff looks so fucking tired when he finally gets down to the double axe handles. It's like, don't do it. Don't do it if it makes you so fucking tired. Oh no.
You need some some thick D batteries. Ooh, unfortunate.
Why don't I think?
I don't know.
Why do I just speak?
It was unnecessary. Like, you didn't have to say thick.
It didn't. I don't even know if D batteries are thick.
I think they are.
I don't even know if there are D batteries.
They are D batteries.
Are they thick?
D battery. Yes, they're the really big guys.
Okay, good. Well, at least I was factually correct when I was embarrassing myself.
Oh god.
Anyways.
Yeah, continue.
I just want to say, it's just like he looks tired when he finishes this shit. It's like, just don't do it. Just fucking stop. I'd rather see like one good drop kick than see you like fucking stumbling onto AJ's body to pretend to do the double axe handle. Just slump down there for a minute, dude. Jeff then sends AJ face first into the mat. We get a twist of fate to AJ and an attempt at a swanton, but AJ rolls away and Jeff lands on his fucking ass. AJ then gets Jeff into a calf crusher and Jeff taps out. AJ wins. Ay, 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 ay. God bless.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we go backstage with a promo between Riddle and Keith Lee, and all I wrote here was Airbud question mark. That's it.
Riddle claims that he got his black eye in his match with Bobby Lashley, the match that he went into with a black eye, which I thought was funny.
Yeah. But then we have, you missed this promo. We have Sheamus and Adam Pearce backstage. Sheamus voices his problems with the Elimination Chamber match as well, saying that he was promised a singles match and he wants a singles match with Drew. And Pearce reiterates what Shane said, that they want the best main event that they can get. And Sheamus said if they do go through with this Elimination Chamber match, Sheamus will unleash brutality on every single WWE star.
Unleash brutality.
That's exactly what he said.
Okay.
And then we have the New Day versus Retribution, aka T-Bar and Slapjack.
Good lord. I don't have notes for the beginning of this match.
I mean, all I have is there's Mustafa on commentary, and he screamed, or he didn't really scream this, but he shouted that Retribution's lives are literally at stake in this match. Somehow.
Is it because Mustafa is not fucking feeding them?
He said for once they're actually letting him use a mic, which is shocking.
To be fair, if the way he was acting today was any indication as to why they won't actually let him use a mic, I get it.
Yeah.
Mr. Moose was screaming, and frankly, I love him on the mic, but also... Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have notes for this? I wasn't really around.
Well, I mean, all that happened in the start of the match was Xavier had Slapjack in a headlock for most of it. And that was really it. There was some couple of kicks thrown, but then you came in.
Okay. So yeah, at this point when I came in, Mustafa was talking about how hungry T-Bar and Slapjack were, and I said, I'll take them to catering then. Concept. T-Bar essentially chokeslams Kofi. Kofi tries to crossbody T-Bar, but T-Bar catches him. T-Bar does the same thing that Jeff Hardy did. It almost broke his knee, I guess, but this time it's T-Bar and it's a massive man sailing over Kofi Kingston's head, which was horrifying to look at. Oh my god. Mustafa is yelling just left and right. Kofi ends up sending T-Bar and Slapjack out of the ring. Xavier then sends Slapjack into T-Bar. Kofi dives onto both of them. T-Bar begins just clobbering Xavier with some fucking elbows. He stands on Xavier and walks over to Slapjack to tag him in. Slapjack gets a chinlock on Xavier. There's a jawbreaker onto Slapjack. Slapjack gets T-Bar in, who, without really just putting in any effort whatsoever, kicks Kofi off the apron. Just lifts his little leggy up a tiny bit. And suddenly it's connected to Kofi's face. And I was like, oh my god, okay. There's an assisted chokeslam on Xavier after Slapjack gets back in. Slapjack goes for a vertical suplex, but Xavier wiggles free and rolls him up. The cover doesn't work. Kofi gets in. There's some chops and a dropkick to Slapjack. Kofi tries to take T-Bar off the apron. He drops Slapjack, gets the bone drop on him. We get a Trouble in Paradise to an interfering T-Bar. Xavier gets in. New Day hits Daybreak to win, and Xavier is just screaming on the ramp as he walks back that he wants to fight Reckoning. And I said, you know what, buddy? Live your dream.
Mm-hmm.
Also, because I want to in a fight. I don't care who with.
You want to see who in a fight?
Reckoning.
Yeah. No, me too. Except if it's with Dana Brooke. I don't want her in a match with Dana Brooke.
I don't want Dana Brooke in a match with just about anybody right now. So.
Let's get Dana Brooke on commentary. That's it.
Yeah, sure. Or fill a Beth Phoenix type role.
Or a 24/7 title scene.
Yeah, hand it over to a woman.
She can be the new Carmella.
Fun. Yeah. All right, I'm down.
After that match, we had Bad Bunny and Damian Priest backstage. Yeah, nothing really happened here, but just two lovely guys.
So cute.
And then
They actually seem like they're friends, and I love that.
Yeah. I mean, as Damian Priest tweeted that Damian grew up in the town that Bad Bunny was born in. And they've kind of grown a friendship over this time since Bad Bunny joined WWE in Royal Rumble. So very nice. And
Bad Bunny's a baby.
It is great that he seems to be having so much fun.
Yeah. He's only 26. I did not realize that. He's a 94 baby.
Oh wow.
And he's a Pisces.
Alright, so then we have we have Ric Flair and Lacey in the ring. Rick starts off by saying that he doesn't take orders from a woman.
Jesus Christ, I should have known what we were getting ourselves into when I fucking heard him say that, because I was like...
And I mean, alright, so that line I just found funny. I just found that hilarious, because Rick is a crazy old man that definitely just said something the wrong way, and it comes off being so hilarious. Especially knowing his history of, being unfaithful and everything. It's
a laugh riot.
And he's talking about Lacey and how he's just trying to bring her up, trying to train her, to basically be the next Charlotte. And he said that his relationship is just casual. Just casual.
That was a weird one.
But also, in training her, she's going to be going for the Raw Women's Championship. And I said, all right, fuck yeah. Bring more people into the title scene. Fine. If that all spins around for that, I am willing to forgive 90% of it. And then Charlotte comes out, and she said, in one of my favorite clapbacks that happened today, if Lacey wanted to learn, she would go to the Performance Center. And Lacey responded by saying that her and Charlotte can make a great tag team, and not Asuka, that feral, filthy animal. Now, that's the wrong thing to say. And we're just gonna move on. Because it speaks for itself.
It's just, it's a lot coming from the same woman who fucking tried to tie Naomi's hair, her braids, to the ropes. Man, I don't like Lacey Evans. I haven't liked her for a very long time. And every time she came out, I was like, damn, the Kill Bill alarms are going off my fucking head. And every time she proves to me why they should be. And I at least feel intuitive at the very least.
But yeah, Charlotte then calls Lacey Charlotte 2.0. And Lacey said that Rick was able to arrange that if Lacey can beat Charlotte, then Lacey would be next in line for the Raw Women's title. Which I said, alright, fuck yeah, give me a match with stakes in this feud for once. And so that would bring us into the next match. But we had a kind of promo right before it. We saw Ms. Morrison and Angel Garza backstage. No idea why this kind of alliance is happening with Angel Garza, part of this crew, but I don't know.
I imagine it's really just because they needed to get Angel Garza a match.
Which I love that.
Yeah.
I love that they... Today it feels like they tried a lot. They tried really hard to do something like to make progress in their storylines, in their title scenes, in their talent, and for the most part it worked. Yeah, so that takes us into Charlotte Flair versus Lacey Evans, where if Lacey wins, she is next in line for the Raw Women's title at Elimination Chamber.
This is also the part that I don't like, is that Lacey really gets a title shot? Come on. Anyways.
Okay. It makes sense. It makes sense because Lacey is aligned with Ric Flair right now, who has a lot of pull in the company, and Lacey having this titles push a little bit is basically just a way to get Charlotte to be pushed to the title after Elimination Chamber.
Yes, I guess. Anyways. Alright. Charlotte versus Lacey. Gods help us all. Charlotte is spearing Lacey in the corner. Lacey starts targeting, because we didn't mention this. Lacey shoves Charlotte into the stairs before the match starts. And if you remember, Charlotte was out for a while because she injured her shoulder, quote unquote, kayfabe. Lacey starts targeting that arm. Charlotte fucking cartwheels out of a submission hold. I was like, okay. Bitch. Charlotte goes over the ropes again. She ends up drop kicking Lacey. Lacey pulls Charlotte's arm against the ropes and sweeps her legs out from under her. She then jumps down onto Charlotte. We get a clothesline to Lacey. Charlotte wants the figure 4, and Lacey ends up getting to the rope first. And then Charlotte Flair decides to kip up, not once, but twice. Oh. Anyways. Lacey does her stupid fucking Nate walk. End up getting a belly-to-belly crossbody suplex to Lacey. Lacey tries to trip Charlotte, but she tries to trip Charlotte. She goes for the armbar. Evans eventually goes up for the moonsault off the ropes, and Charlotte gets to her feet in time. We get the Flair chops. We get a huge boot to the face of Lacey. Flair takes to yelling at her father, and Lacey basically breaks Charlotte's arm. Because like Flair's screaming at her father, and she's like, "Do you want to fight me? Like, I'll fight you." And I was like, "Yes, you will.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Flair versus Flair right now." Instead, Lacey grabs Charlotte's arm, pulls it under her, and then makes her fall onto it. This, however, doesn't stop Charlotte Flair because we get back in the ring, and Charlotte Flair spears Lacey Evans so hard she just fucking folds.
That was a sick spear.
It was fucking incredible. And then Charlotte is DQ'd because she attempts to first-degree murder Lacey Evans, which, you know what? Fine. I don't know how this is going to reflect on her tag team, though, because Asuka's been getting pretty pissed off with Charlotte for kind of, like, putting the Rick and Lacey feud over their tag team, and now Charlotte has kind of Sasha Banks herself, where she was like, or Bailey'd herself, I guess, because now, because of Charlotte's anger, Asuka's title's on the line.
Fine, let it be on the line. I'm tired of it not being on the line. I'm tired of Asuka just sitting there doing nothing.
I am too. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying more so is just like, I wonder how this is going to reflect now, because it's been a sore spot for their tag team, and now it's really coming to bite Asuka in the ass.
Well, we know, I think it's safe to say that after they lost their titles, they're no longer a tag team. Rumble was the last time we'll see them as a tag team.
Yeah, you say so.
So, yeah. I know Asuka's going to retain at Elimination Chamber, and then Charlotte's going to win it at probably Fastlane or WrestleMania. But after that, we have Edge, who wasn't announced to be in the episode until we were already like 10-20 minutes in. He wants to make his decision at Elimination, or after Elimination Chamber, kind of see how these title matches go, you know. And then the Miz and Morrison and Angel Garza come out. And the Miz is threatening to use his the Money in the Bank contract at or after WrestleMania. And I said, why are you holding on to it that fucking long? Just use it. Use it. And then Edge gives us another amazing fucking promo. Not only does he refer to NXT, or the NXT title, as a world championship, which is like the first time that's been said, but he gives us another amazing promo just telling everyone how they should act in WWE. It was amazing, and basically he told the Miz that while Miz is so worried about being awesome, Edge was done with that 20 years ago. Edge is focused on making his dreams come true right now, which, you know, I'm so glad that being a veteran in the business and being a legend, he's still got the passion and dreams. You would think that somebody in the business as long as him would have accomplished all of his dreams, at least in kayfabe, and is kind of just, you know, floating by the winds of Vince McMahon's farts right now. But yeah, Edge again gives us another amazing promo, and although the ratings haven't been fantastic with Edge being around, I don't care, because we're getting some of the best promos we've ever seen in years. And that actually carries us right into Angel Garza versus Damian Priest, with Bad Bunny on the sidelines.
This is soul. You know, every time Damian Priest comes through, I'm just like, You're so tall, so handsome, and your little jawbones, like, oh. I like was not attracted to him for the most part in NXT, and then one day it just like hit me like a freight train. I was like, all right, suddenly I'm in love. Anyway,
We acknowledge Bad Bunny's walkout real quick.
but we can acknowledge that. Bless his soul. He was thrilled about that too. You could see it on his face. He was just like,
The boy got some pyro.
he did. I'm so happy for him. And honestly, it is so sweet that like anything that happens, he's just standing there and he's got like the loveliest little smile. He's always like so happy. He's like, yes, this is good. I'm so happy he's here. I'm so glad that they're using him in kind of a fun and creative way. We get a nasty fucking hit to the face of Angel. Damian just drops him before he can even get his little pants off. Miz and Morrison end up distracting Damian. There's a clothesline and a dropkick. Garza was looking pretty fucking mean tonight. We get a second dropkick just to prove that he can still do it, I guess. I don't know. The second dropkick kind of had me sitting there like, I get it, Angel. I understand. Garza ends up yelling at the ref while Damian gets beaten up by Miz and Morrison. Garza then takes off his pants and throws them at Bad Bunny, who is none too pleased about it. There's a double calf crusher on Garza. Damian ends up beating the absolute shit out of the boy. There's a clothesline to Garza. Miz and Morrison end up distracting Damian, and Garza clotheslines him from the ring just so that Miz and Morrison can further attack. And so Bad Bunny takes the briefcase and like basically whistles yoo-hoo and forces Johnny Drip Drip to follow him, throws the briefcase in the ring, so Johnny grabs it, stands up in the middle of the ring, and the ref's just like, hey, actually it's John Cone. John Cone's like, you two, get out of here. And Bad Bunny's just standing there like, I have done the best thing in the world. And I was like, you have, buddy. You've done the best thing. It is always so sweet how happy he is when he helps Damian too. I love that for him. Then we get fucking Bad Bunny ends up distracting Angel Garza, and Damian Priest gets the reckoning off on Angel to win. He gets Bad Bunny in the ring so they can take their bow. There's a cat behind me now.
Yeah, there is.
What are you up to? Yeah, it was a lovely match. I was very pleased about it.
Yeah, it was a pretty decent match. Not gonna lie. But after that, we have a interview with Drew McIntyre. He said it's pretty expected that we got the Elimination Chamber match. It shouldn't be any surprise. But his focus now was on Randy, and that's really that. But I do want to use this promo to talk about something that I just read, an interesting take on this whole Elimination Chamber match, and this person kind of agreed that Kofi should have been in the original lineup, but if they didn't want Kofi in it to focus on other things, they could have had Mustafa take him out so that he's unable to compete in that match.
That's a fair point.
It would, not discredit Kofi as a world champion, and it would give levity to the whole, or not levity, it would give weight to the whole Retribution New Day feud.
Mhm.
But
I get that.
then we have an interview with Miss Bianca Belair. She said the honeymoon phase is over and it's time to focus up. Then Asuka walks in. And, she said that Asuka's talking as if Bianca's going to be challenging her at WrestleMania. And Bianca said she's ready for Asuka. But Lacey Evans is not ready for Asuka. What are you doing?
Yeah. I'm keeping an eye on her because I don't trust her right now. She's right in the spot that she always liked to pee in before. Now she's just facing us, which is... Anywho. I like this promo a lot.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
Like, we have one common thread connecting us all, and that is that we don't like Lacey Evans.
And it's nice to see Asuka once every 5 months.
Plus, we're gearing up for a title match, which is thrilling.
But then after that, we move on to Riddle versus Keith Lee in a match that I surprisingly really loved. This match was fantastic.
I don't know. I liked it. I don't know. Riddle goes for the triangle sub on Keith, but Keith lifts his ass with a nice curl. Keith then slings Riddle into the post. Riddle manages to get a sleeper on Lee, but when Keith realizes he can't reach the rope in time, he just tosses Riddle over his shoulder, spine first into the mat. To Lee. Lee then just fucking shoves Matt Riddle, just smacks his ass out of the fucking air. Lee then tosses Riddle into the top buckle. We get a huge left hook that, oh man, Matt Riddle got beaten to shit this match. Lee ended up going for a back body drop on Riddle, but Riddle landed on his feet. We get a Pele kick to Keith. Riddle wants the exploder, but instead he gets Grizzly Magnum right to the fucking chest. Keith attempts a spirit bomb. It doesn't work. Riddle then goes off the ropes with a knee strike to the face of Lee. He kicks Keith in the face and then goes off the top rope with a senton and then does a couple more sentons onto Lee. MVP is on the announce desk just talking shit, which is one thing MVP does really well, actually. Keith sets up for the spirit bomb again, but Riddle turns it into a triangle sub. Keith Lee once again curls Matt Riddle and slams him down. Lee finally buckle bombs Matt Riddle and then spear bombs his ass to win. And then Bobby Lashley comes out of nowhere and decides, I'm going to fucking beat up Keith Lee. And I said, okay.
Looking like and a monster.
Lashley fucking powerbombed Keith Lee.
Oh,
I was like, no, that didn't happen. And then like they showed it again. I was like, I'll drink to that, brother.
I cannot wait for the Elimination Chamber match between these three.
It's gonna be so sick.
Fucking Bobby and Keith singles match in and of itself would be fantastic, and then you throw in Riddle in that kind of match, whose style really like, I mean, as we saw in this match, really contrasts Keith and Bobby, but also like really gives him an advantage given their size difference. But now that we finished this match, I forgot to mention that we missed our halfway point of the show. So we have to.
I was wondering when that was coming.
It was right after the Angel Garza Damian Priest match. But let us spin the wheel again for the third time, and we're starting off with your spin. And here we go. So right now you have no opinion for best of the night. And you have to wear a costume.
Fuck off.
Just put on something. Anything in your general vicinity. And I know you've got something near you.
What?
Got those Mickey Mouse ears. Or Minnie Mouse ears.
A costume?
Yeah, it's a costume.
Or it's comfy.
You've only worn them, I think, with the tiara or something. There you go. All right, and now let's.
That wasn't living in a pandemic. That's what my costume is.
And here we go.
My costume is somebody who was able to go to Disney over the summer.
Oh. And here's my spin. That was a fast spin. Oh, and I got safe. All right. Hell yeah. All right. So, after that match, we then move on to a little vignette about Drew and Randy called Unfinished Business. I am so tired of them trying to keep continuing this feud. It was over. It was done. It's not Drew's fault that Randy fucked up or the makeup department fucked up and didn't bring him out in the Rumble without his burn makeup. Otherwise, the Fiend storyline would still be going on, or the Alexa Bliss storyline would still be going on. I'm tired of this feud.
To be fair, the Alexa Bliss shit happened last week, didn't it?
That was between Edge and Randy, where she spit up like the black stuff.
Yeah. So I don't think that the storyline is completely done for. But in fairness, we still wouldn't have gotten the Fiend yet because Bray did request time off. And he came at a perfect time because he was burned alive. Plus, I think after Brody Lee passed, I think he probably needed like some family time. You'd think. Mm-hmm. So I think that we can rest with the comfort of, at the very least, knowing that the lack of Bray is not all Randy's fault.
And there are only 2 scenarios where I will be really happy with Bray coming back. And that's Jeff Hardy continues to be injured, and they need to replace him with Bray Wyatt, aka The Fiend. Or wait till Mania. Show him at Mania. Yeah, that's really it.
When he comes back, apparently when he comes back, he's going to have a different look.
Perfect. Awesome. Fiend is dead. Bring in Fiend 2.0.
Oh no. Sounds fucking terrifying.
But imagine, because who was it that said, Roman was bringing a new look, but it was just shirtless. What if that's it? It's just Fiend shirtless now.
Someone brought a new look and he said, it's a shirt that says all of my fun catchphrases. I'm jacked now. And I was like, you were jacked from the beginning. Mm-hmm. Fuck.
But then we have a promo with Randy Orton just talking about unfinished business. Whatever. And then we had Nia Jax versus Lana in a tables match. First person sent through a table would lose. And this match was good for one thing and one thing only.
2 things. I'd wager.
My hole.
That's one of the things. The other thing is the extended censor that we got on whatever the fuck Nia said. Nia must have screamed a whole string of obscenities. Because we sat there and I was like, the TV break? God bless.
So fun.
Alright.
Let's get through this dumb match.
Pardon me. Nia goes for a huge powerbomb. The chokeslam powerbomb that she got yelled at for using on Dana last time. Looks fucking painful. Doesn't look that fucking dangerous. She does it a second time. Then she gets Lana in a fucking stretch muffler submission hold. Which looks horrifying to begin with. And then she smacks her face right into the second turnbuckle. Which, woof.
Mm-hmm.
Nia ends up stomping. Right. Nia ends up stomping Lana on the ropes. She wants to dump Lana into the table, but she can't, so she just drops her neck first into the ropes instead. She goes for the elbow drop, but Lana avoids it. There's a switch kick to the face of Nia. Nia shoves Lana down into the ground. Lana then gets one of Nia's arms locked up over the ropes and starts kicking her. Nia ends up standing on Lana's throat on the apron and attempts a leg drop. And Lana scooches away. And Nia Jax, in all of her glory, lands tailbone first on the apron and screams, "My hole."
My hole! I hope that was picked up on the mic. I don't think it was, actually.
I didn't hear it. I heard you through the wall.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that Eldon heard it. Yeah. So Lana screams that.
Mm-hmm. Wait, no, not Lana. Nia.
Nia screams that. Lana doesn't. And Nia continues to scream until Lana just shoves her into the fucking table. After that, Shayna jumps in and Naomi says, "Not today." And then we go right into Naomi versus Shayna.
Yeah, I guess. You know what?
Oh,
Fine.
yes. It's the truth.
Honestly, fine. Like to see more Naomi.
So I didn't know what else to call this. It was like almost like a gut buster, but like in the form of like backstabber. So like it was like a gut stabber, but it was like on Shayna's tits. So I just called it a tit stabber.
Nice.
Shayna drops Naomi on her knee and then kicks her in the face. She goes for the elbow stomp, but Naomi kicks up, and Shayna says, "Fucking please don't do that. I have a move to get off." So she sweeps Naomi's legs out and then succeeds with the elbow stomp a second time. She then takes to trying to break Naomi's arms, or one arm with a top wrist lock. She then falls with the arm, and I'm just like sitting there, and I'm like watching the joints in different directions, and oof. Shayna's nothing if not sickening to watch. We get a drop kick to the face of Baszler, and then a lovely little Hurricane Rana. We get a brutal fucking jawbreaker to Shayna, and then Naomi, like, I don't know what she was going for. Maybe like a Panama Sunrise kind of deal or something like that. But basically, she has her legs wrapped around Shayna's waist. And she's in a position where when she goes up and leans back, her back is against Shayna's front. I don't know what she was going for, but I know that Shayna then brought Naomi down. Like, she reversed it into the Kirifuda clutch, and I was like, it was so awesome. It's like Naomi went back and Shayna, like, let go.
Mm-hmm.
And then just, like, clamped down. I was like, oh. Kind of hot, but, like, chill. Naomi manages to grab the ropes. Shayna decides to attack Lana, who's ringside, and for no good reason. But Naomi then catches Shayna as she returns to the ring and rolls her up to win. Yay.
I saw
It was a better match than Nia and Lana, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true. But I saw an interesting point on Twitter that I kind of agree with, but it's that Shayna's elbow stomp has just become a move. Like it's just a regular move at this point. Like it used to be her finisher. It used to be something that absolutely brutal. Like you remember when she did it to Liv Morgan prior to Money in the Bank? Like Liv was like dead after it.
Yeah, because that used to be her thing. She did it to Asuka too, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, she almost did it to Asuka. Asuka was the one that was like
Asuka was the one she failed with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I remember it because we were both sitting there and we were like, "Did she just break that person's elbow?" It was like one of the first times that we saw her, and we were both just sitting there like, "Is that legal? Is she allowed to do that?"
Yeah. Oh, but after that match, we then have our main event, Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. Again.
Not enough gin in the world. This is my first cocktail tonight, and I needed it.
Tired.
I needed it. And it breaks my fucking heart because I like Drew so much, but like this was... I'm getting to a point now where it's like I'm begging Drew to drop the fucking title. I'm begging him.
I'm begging...
And I think the problem really... Go on.
I'm begging Bray Wyatt to come back.
But the problem is Drew would be an interesting person to watch fight. He's not anymore because we've seen him against just about any real contender. We've seen him wrestle every Monday for about 10 months.
Yeah.
At this point. Occasionally on a Friday. When shit got real weird.
And how many of those matches had Randy Orton involved, do you think?
Oh. I mean, because the thing you got to consider here is what? There's 52 weeks in a year. So minus 8, that's 44. So 44 times the past 10 months. Plus one Sunday per 10, so that's 54 times. And when you consider the fact that Drew's been fighting Randy since Backlash?
No. SummerSlam.
Not Backlash, sorry. I meant Payback.
SummerSlam.
So SummerSlam, which was in July?
May was Money in the Bank. June was not SummerSlam. June was something else. July, I think, was SummerSlam. Or maybe August.
June may have been Backlash.
Yeah, June was Backlash. On 2020 reviews. Let's see. Past events. I'm getting there.
Doing the math in my head as we speak.
2020. Okay, so June was Backlash. July was Extreme Rules. August was SummerSlam. So since August.
So August is the 8th month of the year. And we got
6.
him August. Huh?
6 months they've been doing this.
Minus DLC.
Oh, yeah.
That was AJ. So it's probably safe to bet that 54 matches, 6 pay-per-views of those 54 matches were Randy and Drew. We could even maybe hedge a bet that's like 26. So about 32 of the 54 matches that he's probably been fighting Randy.
He had 40 matches last year. I realized I could just look at my notes or my records. He had 40 matches.
And my math is wrong.
Anyway, let's jump into the match. God.
Doing fucking Scott Steiner math over here. So right off the bat, Randy tries an RKO. Drew tries a Claymore. They both fail. You know why? Because they know each other's movesets so fucking well. You know why? Because we've had so many of these matches.
Here's the thing with Drew that annoys me. And you might understand once I say it, but it normally when a competitor like when two competitors get like really know each other, they start to counter their opponents and can read them and avoid their signatures. Drew copies them. Drew doesn't counter, he copies his opponent. Because he did the draping DDT. He did the future shock DDT.
He attempted it.
He attempted it. He's been doing the RKO. It's just something I noticed that's...
Well, I think, while I agree, the counter I can give you on that is more so... I've seen that with a lot of people. Especially people who have been fighting each other a lot. Or people who have a history with one another. I think that you're fixating on it with Drew the most because we've had so many Drew and Randy matches that it's hard to ignore.
I'm also thinking back
I've definitely seen it with other wrestlers.
I'm thinking back to Wednesday at NXT because Adam Cole and Ciampa have had a long history together, and they weren't copying each other's moves. They were just reading each other and able to counter each other to the point that nobody was really delivering a hit on the other because they just knew each other so well.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is that I've definitely seen it with a lot of other matches and a lot of other people.
Yeah.
I think it's easier to call it out on this because we've seen it so much.
I haven't really seen it in anyone else besides Drew, because
I've definitely seen it in other people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But anyways, so Randy goes to return to the ring and Drew smacks him, and then attempts the Draper DDT, but Randy frees himself. Then Sheamus comes out. And just watches, and not even just watches. He kind of skulks. Like, there's one thing if you're just standing by, just like, no, Sheamus is like.
Sheamus made me hate this match, if I'm being honest.
This was so annoying tonight. Anyways, so Randy then tosses Drew into one of the posts. You get General Pain Drew reporting for fucking duty, just laying there like clutching whatever part of his body he can. Drew ends up chopping Randy and sends him spine first into the announce desk. There's a headlock on Drew. Drew frees himself, but is then kicked in the midsection. There's a kick to the face of Drew, and Drew manages his overhead toss suplex twice, and then he RKOs Randy, and then he kips up, and I said, I'm straight suddenly. Yay.
Suddenly?
No, I'm not straight.
Yeah,
Don't make me so Rhea Ripley.
You say that every time Drew McIntyre does a kip up, which is every week now. Or when Dexter Lumis does one, so it's about twice a week now.
I miss him so much. Sweet Prince. Anyways, Drew attempts the Future Shock DDT, but naturally it fucking fails. Randy gets a jackknife cover. It does not work. Drew manages to spinebuster Randy, and then he does the jackknife cover. and it doesn't work. Drew goes up top. For what? I don't know. Drew doesn't belong up top under any circumstance. Randy meets him there, starts punching him. Perplexed into the fucking ground. Drew still manages to Glasgow kiss Randall. He then runs at Randy, and Randy knocks him into the apron. Randy fucking gets Drew into the position for the Draper DDT and powers the fuck up for it this time. You know, we always get a weird fucking thing that Randy wants to do during the Draper DDT, and today it was just him making weird noises. Yeah, exactly.
It was literally him going Super Saiyan.
Exactly. There's a Draper DDT to Drew. Finally, Randy starts doing little Randy things where he pounds the mat. Freak. We get a failed RKO and a successful Future Shock DDT onto Randy. Drew is going for something. I have no fucking clue what Drew's going for. But what I assume was kind of an accidental, just like not right place, right time. Randy has to shove Drew out of the way, which 100% made it look like Randy was taking this hit for Drew because Sheamus bops on in, brogues Randy to DQ the match. But because we got a shot of Randy pushing Drew away, for a whole second I was like, why did Randy take that hit for Drew? That's very weird. It was very confusing.
I think it was just an accident. I don't think Randy took
the
hit for Drew.
That's what I was just saying, is that I don't think that he did it to make it look like he was taking the hit. I'm just saying that because of the camera shot, it looked like he was taking the hit.
Right. And now we're probably next week going to get like a reasoning from either Randy saying, why did you take the hit for Drew? Or Sheamus saying, why did you hit Randy? So,
I don't know, man.
Now that episode's over, we have to move on to our bests of the night, wrap up the show. But before we do that, we have to spin the wheel one more time. And Liz right now has no opinion on the best of the night. So, without further ado, spin the wheel for me. No purple, no purple, no purple, no purple, no purple. You have got to be kidding. This is fucking gimmicked. I got no opinion. So it cancels out. Cancels out twice in one night. What are the odds? All right, let's spin your wheel. Oh, I'm so sorry. I got no opinion again. Oh,
Whatever, man.
You can still give your opinion, it just won't count.
I don't have any opinions.
Oh, I'm sorry. The wheel is gimmicked.
You made it!
Yeah, but I'm not the one who spins it. I don't control the spin.
Oh
Streamlabs does. Alright, so now that I am in control of the bests of the night, I still would like to hear from you, Liz, on your opinions of everything.
I have no opinions.
We start off with promo of the night. We started off with Adam Pearce welcoming Shane McMahon into the Thunderdome and announcing the Elimination Chamber match. This was good and bad. I'm disappointed that we didn't get Raw Underground again. Disappointed that we didn't get the right lineup for the Elimination Chamber match. Wish we could have replaced The Miz with somebody. But, you know, it is what it is. Then we had Shane backstage with Drew. That was pretty alright. The Riddle and Keith promo was funny. Yeah. Then we had Sheamus and Adam Pearce backstage. That was uncomfortable. We had Bad Bunny
So
and
I
Damian.
didn't see that.
I know. I was watching it when you were in the bathroom. And I was like, oh, she would have loved this. But
Like 2 red onions, and my body was just like, "Fuck you," and I was like, "Oh, sure. Why wouldn't this happen?"
Then we had Bad Bunny and Damian Priest just fucking around. That was nice. We had Ric Flair and Lacey. That was equal parts awful and great. I'm glad things are being tied to the title. That's what I love about this. Then we have the Miz, Morrison, Angel Garza backstage. It was whatever. We had Edge giving another fantastic promo. This was great. Loved this a lot. The fact that he's continuing his series of telling everyone how they should be acting, while also just showing the world how passionate he is. Love it so much. Then we had an interview with Drew McIntyre. It was okay. We had an interview with Bianca featuring Asuka. This was fun. It was nice. Kind of, I think this was trying too hard to turn Bianca's decision also onto Raw. I think it's safe to say she's not choosing anything but Sasha at this point. But
Honestly, that's what I want to see. I want to see her fighting Asuka. I think that a Sasha Bianca match would be so killer.
yeah. At Mania, we know for a fact there's only a couple options. It's either Asuka and Charlotte and Lacey, or Charlotte and Alexa. Those are the only options that we're gonna get for the Raw Women's title match. But with that said, after that we had Drew and Randy with their vignette. That was whatever. And then Randy Orton promo where he's rambling in a dark room. Whatever. So my pick 100% is Edge confronting the Miz, Morrison, and Angel Garza. And because Liz picked the no opinion, I have the only say here. But Liz, what did you think was the best promo of the night?
I actually really like that one because Edge really fucking ripped Mr. Mizanin to shreds.
Yeah.
He really just sat out there and said, "I'm the king bitch, and you're annoying me." And I love that. So,
Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree. I would have disagreed, I don't think, anyways.
And we got like one of the best lines he's given where he said, "You're too busy being awesome while I was done with that 20 years ago." It was so great.
Adam Copeland every fucking week now. Every fucking other day at this point.
Yeah.
Goddamn hero.
He's had a lot of acting experience since the last time we saw him.
Money Plane really came in for him.
And Vikings.
That probably did more for him, honestly.
Yeah. So wrestler of the night. This one is a little tougher for me, but we'll see. We'll see how it shapes out as I go through it. We started off with Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles. I picked AJ. I think that's more so just because I enjoy AJ Styles' style, no pun intended, a lot more. He's just so much more enjoyable to watch. He feels so much more versatile, and he's got so much energy with him. Well, I think Jeff Hardy's energy has kind of dissipated over the years. AJ's just phenomenal. Then we have the New Day versus Retribution. I picked Kofi for this. I don't really know. I didn't enjoy anyone in this match. It was okay. I mean, T-Bar and Slapjack were both kind of Xavier was pretty decent when he was like yelling. Kofi probably made the most shots in the match, giving him the most kind of impact. So I guess that's why I'm picking him. Then we have Charlotte Flair versus Lacey. Oof, God, this was a mess. I picked Charlotte, but also Lacey Evans has absolutely zero chemistry with literally anyone in the WWE. Did you notice? I'm sure you noticed this, but did you notice when Charlotte ran up to Lacey in the corner, stopped, and then Lacey slapped her? She went back, ran to her and did the same thing. Like, she ran up to Lacey to tell her the spot that she needs to do. Lacey slapped her to get her away from her so that then they could execute the spot. Did you notice that?
I honestly didn't because I was dying. But with that said, Lacey is like one of my least favorite women's wrestlers to watch right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks because she actually has some moves that are like worthwhile.
Yeah.
But that also makes me feel a certain type of way when a wrestler doesn't have good chemistry with like literally anyone else that they're fighting with. Because like even her and Peyton, like I've seen makeshift tag teams like Naomi and Lana, where I was like, okay, this works. And Lacey and Peyton, like even though like their whole thing was supposed to be like they didn't want to be in the or Peyton didn't want to be in a tag team with her, it still didn't work for the fact that it wasn't working.
Yeah. And
that kind of says something to me. It's like, if you don't have good chemistry with the people that you're wrestling on like a wide scale, like, what are you doing backstage? Like, there's gotta be something, man. I don't know. Not a fan.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Yeah, no, I agree. But after that, we had Angel Garza versus Damian Priest. Damian Priest killed this match. He was fantastic. I mean, it was basically a jobber match, but this Damian looked amazing. I just wish he would replace the Falcon Arrow or whatever it's called when he does the arrow in the corner and just runs up and elbows them. He's got to replace that.
I also just wish that this match was longer.
Yeah.
The match felt like so short, and it's like, well, I could have just done without the Lana and Nia match, honestly.
Or the Naomi and Shayna.
No, I said Lana and Nia because the fighting in Naomi and Shayna was at least good.
Yeah. But that didn't give us my whole.
Sometimes you must sacrifice things to get better things, Marcus.
Yeah, Damian looked fantastic. I do think is it the Falcon Arrow? Is that what it's called?
Well, there's the Falcon Arrow and then there's a Broken Arrow. And I think the Falcon Arrow is what you're thinking of, and the Broken Arrow is almost like a vertical suplex.
Yeah, Broken Arrow is like vertical suplex, bend them on the way down. So yeah, if he replaces the elbow with a drop kick, that would be perfect because then his body's acting like an actual arrow. Yeah.
Me, Damian versus
Seth?
Cowards. Seth has a similar fighting style to Finn, who has a similar fighting style to Damian.
If only they weren't on separate brands.
Cowards.
But moving on from that, we had Riddle versus Keith Lee, and I picked Keith for this because he looked like a monster in that ring. Like, my God, that shoulder check where Riddle just went flying. Oh my God. Riddle also looked great too. Like, this is just another great Riddle match. But Keith was like on a whole nother level from how we normally see him. Since he joined the main roster, he's kind of fallen a little flat, but this was a start to him really, really picking up.
In my humblest of opinions, yeah, I don't disagree. Keith looked amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That Riddle kind of looked shit tonight.
I
Compared
think
to other Matt Riddle fights, he looked like shit.
I think today he did really well with selling Keith's moves. I mean, with like the shoulder check, you didn't need to sell that at all. You didn't need to.
Right.
But I think today was more so just about getting Keith over. But yeah, no, Keith was fantastic. I mean, that power bomb at the end, just or the spirit bomb. Nobody does a power bomb like Keith. My God. Maybe Apollo, but Keith does the best. After that, we had Nia Jax versus Lana, and I mean, I literally wrote down, I don't fucking know, Naomi. And then we had Naomi versus Shayna, and I said Naomi. Maybe I'll change it to Shayna, I don't know, but it doesn't matter. And then we had Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. I picked Drew McIntyre. And I'm kind of going to go against myself here and say that I like that he used Randy Orton's moves for this. In the long term, it sucks that he's just copying moves, but if we're just looking at this match standalone, I love that he's kind of adding to his skill set, adding the Draper DDT to it. He did mess up that jackknife cover. And you could see the frustration on his face, but everything else he did looked fantastic.
I didn't notice.
They called it out too.
I'll go back and watch that again.
They called out that he missed the jackknife cover, and he just goes for a regular pin instead of that, and you just see like the frustration, like anger, just on his face at that point. I think that's what got him. I think that was the last cover.
I have to go back and watch that again in a couple days when it's on the WWE Network because I did see that.
But yeah, no, Drew was fantastic. But for tonight, I'm having trouble deciding between Keith Lee and Drew McIntyre. I think I want to go with Keith because of how much he's been shaping himself over the course of time. Drew's kind of remained stagnant. He's hit his peak and has stayed there this entire time. Keith is on an incline right now, and it's great to see him evolve, especially since his last match. So I'm gonna go with Keith for today. Who do you think was the best of tonight?
I don't disagree. I think Keith looked good.
Okay.
Nobody really stood out to me, but Keith was probably one of the best.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. So match of the night. I am going to have no trouble deciding this one. So we started off with Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles. This match was all right. It was okay. You know, wasn't a bad match, not a great match. It is what it is. We have the New Day versus Retribution. This was okay. This was fine. You know, nothing bad, nothing great. It was just nice to see Mustafa flipping out on commentary, I guess. Then we had Charlotte Flair versus Lacey Evans in a messy match that I'm hoping is the start to Psycho Charlotte. I'm seeing a lot of people talking about that. We might see some kind of psychotic Charlotte Flair around Mania time. Would love to see that.
Take it.
We had Angel Garza versus Damian Priest, which was a great match, especially with Bad Bunny's involvement. Just wish, like you said, wished it was longer. It felt like a jobber match. It felt like just some random match to throw Angel Garza in. But what I do like about this match is that it was all about Latino pride. The fact that we had Angel Garza, Damian Priest, and Bad Bunny fucking around against Miz and Morrison. I mean, Angel Garza wasn't fucking with them, but Bad Bunny and Damian Priest fucking with them, and amazing match between two Latinos. Great.
I like that Damian had the Puerto Rican flag on his pants.
He had that last week.
I didn't notice that. But it's also just sweet to like get for a second week in a row just like promos where Damian and Bad Bunny are just speaking Spanish to each other. Like, I've got no fucking clue what they're talking about, but they look happy.
Yeah.
So cool. I think that's really sweet. I'm really enjoying the angle.
Mm-hmm.
But I have heard some people say, and these people, I know the one person I've seen say this is Puerto Rican. It's not Sarah. But they just want to make sure that like Vince doesn't use Damian as their token Hispanic guy
and then bury him.
Yeah, but I don't see that happening, honestly, because that was never Damian's thing to begin with.
Yeah. I mean,
I just think that he's going to express it.
I mean, think about this. Getting Bad Bunny in all of Damian's matches has been getting his matches specifically millions upon millions of views, and bringing new fans in to support Damian. They're not going to waste all those viewers with somebody they're going to bury.
Yeah.
No,
I'm happy with it so far.
Yeah, me too. I hope he sticks around for a while. But again, match was a little too short, but I'm hoping we get a better one soon. After that, we had Riddle versus Keith Lee. I love this match. I really did. And Ray's Pilot said you should talk about Dogecoin. We've actually been buying Dogecoin. We bought it.
Dogecoin.
Yeah, buy Dogecoin. That's all we can say.
We need money.
Give us money, Elon Musk. Yeah, Riddle versus Keith Lee was fucking awesome. Keith looking like a monster. Riddle getting Keith Lee over. It was great. And then Bobby Lashley coming in the end to just bring this into a pay-per-view match. God, I'm so excited. Bobby Lashley. Like, I saw somebody talk about this on Reddit. MVP literally saved Bobby Lashley's career. Like, it is unbelievable. If MVP did not take Bobby under his wing, I don't think we'd be seeing Bobby Lashley today. Like, MVP completely reshaped Bobby Lashley's character.
I do kind of wish that the Elimination Chamber match was just Bobby Keith.
Yeah, but
I'm not really interfering in that shit right now.
I know, but at the same time, I'm not unhappy because I wish we had gotten just a regular Bobby Riddle match. Because the last one just ended with a DQ. But if it was just a singles match against Keith, I would also be happy because having, like, I think I said this last week, having Bobby just destroy Riddle just shows how dominant he is. So. But now we move on to Nia Jax versus Lana. Oh boy.
The beauty of a triple threat. Triple threat is you get Bobby and Keith and no DQ.
Yeah. And you know what I realized? They could have the ring collapse if Bobby suplexes Keith Lee or powerbombs him. I hope that happens.
Me, the Spanish dragonfly.
Hmm.
I think that's what Keith was calling his Spanish fly.
Yeah.
Just with Keith not breaking his neck.
That would be nice. He might not attempt it again. He might be too afraid.
I don't think he will. I think he might attempt it again in like months upon months from now.
Yeah. But now Lana versus Nia Jax in a dumb match that was only good for my hole. The quote that will probably save Nia Jax's career among the fans. Oh man, this match was a mess. It really was. I mean, Lana looking like a little crybaby. Nia Jax does not look good. And I'm not saying that because of her unsafety, but she does not make her moves convincing at all. The only move she can make convincing is Samoan drop. That's it. Her leg drop.
Sometimes the leg drop.
Sometimes. Even today it was bad. Even like if we're subtracting the my whole thing from it, it was not a good leg drop at all. But I just wish Lana would stop acting like a little fucking crybaby. It's getting unsettling.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah. Then we have Naomi versus Shayna Baszler. This is a good match. I'd like to see more Naomi, of course.
This match was longer.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just these two matches like kind of frustrated me. I think can't remember where I saw this, but somebody said that they're basically making Shayna out to look like just a dumb fuck.
Yeah, I don't like.
Yeah. She's like supposed to be like MMA fighter, like incredible combatant, and she's distracted by everything and is incredibly stupid when she's not. She's like, she's a surgeon, basically.
I know. You're preaching to the choir on this one.
And then lastly, to wrap up the night, we had Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. This ain't it, Chief. This ain't it. I wanted it to be. I was hopeful that we would get like a really good Randy Drew match to just wrap up this feud. But no. Nope. And it all boils down to Sheamus. Sheamus ruins this match, and it pains me to say it because I love Sheamus. And he's the one I want to win the title come Elimination Chamber. But this just ain't it. So I don't think it's any surprise what my pick for match of the night is. But it's Riddle versus Keith Lee. I mean, that match was just everything I could have wanted. It's a perfect lead into Elimination Chamber too.
Agreeing with that. My opinion doesn't count here, but I guess I would have to agree with you if it did.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't like Matt Riddle in it, dude. I was only there for Keith Lee, and then I was only there for Keith Lee and Bobby Lashley. Matt Riddle's just like this annoying side piece that I have to deal with.
Yeah.
When you're out with your two best friends, they've got like one obnoxious girlfriend, and you're like,
Mm-hmm. I mean, remove the alleged allegations towards Riddle. He's a schmuck. He's a dickhead.
he's annoying. He's kind of a jackass.
Yeah.
I mean, like, again, just, like, when you ignore, like, the lawsuit that's against him right now,
Mm-hmm.
he's still done shit that's, like, not illegal, not cool. And then like, his way of dealing, like, for example, like, Brock Lesnar fucking hates him. And I'm not saying Brock Lesnar is a fucking saint by any means. I don't know anything about the dude. Brock Lesnar fucking hates Matt Riddle. Brock Lesnar knows that Matt Riddle would love to have a fight with him. And Brock Lesnar has on multiple occasions been like, not a chance in fucking hell.
Doesn't Goldberg also hate him?
Yeah. And Matt Riddle was like so excited for Parker Boudreaux to come join the WWE because he said, oh, he looks just like Brock Lesnar and he doesn't hate me enough yet to refuse a match. And I was like,
yeah.
If somebody hated me that fucking much, I would not be going around Twitter saying stupid shit about it because apparently I've done something bad. I don't know. Maybe it's like the golden retriever in me that's like, I need to be loved by everybody constantly, regardless of how I feel about them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't understand people who have the opposite vibe, where they're just like, I don't care if people just fucking abhor me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't get that.
Yeah.
Psycho.
But that wraps up the best of the night. To run it back, our promo of the night, Edge confronts The Miz. Wrestler of the night, Keith Lee. Match of the night, Riddle versus Keith Lee. Kind of surprising picks for a wrestling match of the night, considering I think it's recently it's been like Charlotte and Drew, I think, have been dominating this year's picks.
The WWE to fucking give me the opportunity to say Damian Priest.
Mm.
And Bad Bunny for that matter, but take what I can expect. I want Damian Priest.
Actually, it hasn't been Drew or Charlotte that have been dominating now that I'm looking at it again. Drew, we haven't picked once this year.
Really?
It has been all Hurt Business. Which they kind of still dominated in this because Bobby Lashley was in this match, an MVP.
Fair enough.
Who's this? Oh, and Lucha House Party too. We've picked Lucha House Party every week for match of the night.
It's their own damn fault. They've been doing so fucking well.
Yeah. I don't even think there's been 5 weeks in the year so far, and we've picked them 5 times for match of the night.
Just desperately begging for Lince Dorado to tell me if he's hot under that mask.
You want him to tell you if he's hot?
Like, I don't know. Like, I understand that it's like a thing where like they can't take their mask off, so I'm not gonna ask him to like go out of his comfort zone. But like, I just need him to let me know, or like I need somebody who's seen him without the mask on to like let me know if he's hot or not.
Right.
I'm desperate.
Well, that wraps up the show. Liz, would you like to close us out? Also, you didn't need to keep those Minnie Mouse ears on the whole time.
I don't feel good. They're kind of comfy.
Okay.
Thank you for tuning in today. If you tuned in on this fine evening, thank you. And if you tuned in the future, thank you. Dogecoin. Mark and I need to make money. We have no money. Well, I've got a job. Mark's got a job, but this is good money. Money. Please. Together, we can bring Dogecoin to $1. It's literally 8 cents a share. Come on. Anyways, if you liked this particular podcast, you'll probably really fucking like Wednesday's podcast because that's NXT, and that's when Mark and I have the most fucking fun because NXT is the most fucking fun. I also will probably feel better by then because I think it's just my allergies fucking me up a little bit. I've been very dry lately. Mm-hmm. But please tune in on Wednesday for our NXT podcast. And if you like NXT podcasts, tune in on Friday for the SmackDown podcast. The subject matter isn't as fun, but Seth Rollins is coming back. And on top of that, usually Friday podcasts are fun for us because we don't have shit going on the next day. Plus, it will be our prediction podcast for, you guessed it, loop this all fucking together, NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day, February 14th. Bring yourself. Bring a date. You can have your little Valentine's Day date in our little podcast. I'll say nice things about you. If you want, bring a date and I'll be like, oh, damn, John Smith over here brought his girlfriend and he saved a puppy from under a car once. That's crazy. I'll hype you up. Anyways, I'll be your Valentine too. Just kidding. I'm Sarah's Valentine. I can't be anyone else's. All right.
You just go on and on and on.
It's the Gemini power, Mark. Me, Roman, and Drew together. And Seth.
And Daniel Bryan.
You can just talk.
And Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
But we're starting this Friday. We're approaching a hell week, basically. We've got predictions on Friday for Vengeance Day. We have Vengeance Day. We have Raw, NXT. Friday, the following Friday will be predictions for Elimination Chamber, and then we have Elimination Chamber, and then the Raw the day after that.
No, honestly, can I say something here?
No.
No offense to February as a month itself. Fuck February for being so fucking short. Dude, I'm tired. I'm so tired.
Alright, well, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, obviously, hit that follow button or subscribe button, whatever your preference is. And if you're watching this live and you missed part of the show or want to check out our previous shows, our YouTube is the Pinfall Podcast. This one will be going up tomorrow, roughly tomorrow morning, if not night. And follow us on Twitter. Oh, also, if you're watching on YouTube, check out the live show, twitch.tv/the Pinfall Podcast. We'd love to chat with you. We can't always check the comments on YouTube, but we do as much as possible. And if you have suggestions for the wheel, either leave them in the suggestion box down below of the stream or in the comment section if you're watching on YouTube. And follow us on Twitter at Pinfall Podcast. We post whenever we go live on there, as well as our picks for wrestler and match of the night. And follow our personal Twitters. I'm at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And don't forget to check out the Universal Pokemon Federation on YouTube. It's a project we're all working on together, combining the fundamentals of WWE with Pokemon. It's one of a kind. It's amazing. So much fun. New episode coming out very soon. So don't forget to subscribe to that. And thank you all for watching. We'll see you on Wednesday for NXT, the episode prior to Vengeance Day. So it'll be a lot of fun. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you then. Have a great night.